Are we live?
No, not yet. 30 more seconds.
Madam Chair, I may have to leave early. I have budget hearings, so thank you.
We're now live.
Thank you. Thank you, Ariel. Good morning. This is Delegate Deborah Davis. This is the Charles County Delegation meeting for February 21st. Welcome, everyone. We are going to start with the agenda item of updating everyone on our delegation bills. I don't see Senator Ellis, but maybe Senator Jackson can help us out with these. So the gaming bill had a hearing on 213. The stadium liquor bill had a hearing on 217. We're still waiting for hearing dates for the ATV bill, the homeowners association bill, and the school bus bill, which is going to be heard in the House on Ways and Means. And SB 727, Delegate Patterson has a question about that.
I'm sorry.
You have a question about you want to update us on the school bus transportation bill?
That's the Senate Bill 727.
Yes, we added it to the agenda, yes.
No, not really. It's going to be heard, I believe, only on the Senate side. Kara, you added this to us.
Yes, because we weren't sure if Senator Ellis was going to be presenting it or not, or if you were going to be presenting it on behalf of Charles County.
I believe, yes, Senator Jackson.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Senator Ellis, that's on the list to present over here. My office just gave me a document from ATU that they have a concern with the bill. I wasn't sure if that meant they were speaking today or not.
Speaking today.
They are scheduled to meet with Delegate Patterson, I believe, on Monday regarding this.
Okay, thank you. I'm good.
Of course, but it's just, I think the question more is who's going to be presenting it on behalf of the delegation.
Well,
Okay.
is a hearing today on the Senate
No,
side?
ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay.
It's on March 7th.
I'm going to assume they've got it taken care of over there, Delegate Patterson. I know that Senator Jackson is handling some of them, right?
Yes, ma'am. We're 18%, but we're 100% in, just so everybody knows. This is being recorded, by the way. So.
Delegate Patterson, is that okay? Or I don't know what else we should do.
I'm sorry, what is the question?
Is it okay? Is that enough edification for you, or should we pursue it further? Senator Jackson says they have it.
Well, that's fine. If I can help in any way in terms of getting testimony, I think it's a good bill and I certainly support it. And we'll go from there.
Yes, ma'am. You and I were very instrumental in that piece of legislation. So we will, as we always do, we will stay connected.
Thank you.
You know, I don't think I'm presenting that one, but we're on it. We're on it. So.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So we're moving really fast. I think if there's nothing else, no other questions about the current legislation in Charles County.
Well, I just want to offer that I did present the House Bill 841, the gaming bill.
Right.
It should come to my subcommittee since I'm subcommittee chair. It did not. Sometimes we go by order, that is to say the numbers 300, 100, 200, and this is House Bill 841. I will certainly alert you if there are questions or concerns, but I don't see any challenges with this bill since it's simply a change in terms of reporting structure.
Change in reporting. Okay. Thank you so much. And who handled the stadium bill? Alcohol. We had Gabe do that from Economic Matters. Sharon, you want to give us a report on that one? How'd that go?
Hi, Sharon is in a meeting, so we have one of the other legislative aides here from Economic Matters. I unfortunately was not in that hearing to give an update on that. Apologies.
Was Gabe there? Is Gabe available?
Gabe is not available.
Okay. Thank you so much. But I've heard through the grapevine that it went well, you guys.
It did, from
Okay,
what I've heard, so
all right.
should be all good, of
Thank you so much.
course.
All right, thank you for that, Delegate Patterson, too. We'll give you updates on the others at our next meeting. Anything else for the good of the order before we move to Kathy Guzman? Anything else? Any hands already I'm missing? All right,
No, you're good.
okay, thank you. So you all know about the Chamber of Commerce in Charles County, and they recently invited us to an event on March 3rd. And so it was a logical move to say, let's invite Kathy to our next meeting. Kathy is the president and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce in Charles County. Kathy, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Honored delegates and senators, thank you so much for the time this morning. First and foremost, the legislative breakfast is kind of being combined with what was known as State of the County, giving the local commissioners an opportunity, to speak to our business owners. The legislative breakfast was a Q&A, a moderated Q&A session for business owners and delegates and senators, to kind of have that opportunity to dialogue strictly on matters of business. It's not a widespread thing. So that is something that has been revived. Delegate Patterson, were you a part of the legislative breakfast? I think it happened pre-COVID. So this is something that's been
Oh,
revived.
I'm very familiar with them, both as a commissioner and as a delegate, yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this spurred from the hard work of our legislative committee. Delegate Davis asked the question, what does that process look like, and how did we get to this point where we are, having the legislative breakfast again? We have, new chairs and co-chairs on the legislative committee. I'm sure all of you are familiar with Chudy Obi. He is the business development specialist for the Charles County Economic Development. He now chairs that committee. In addition to Jessica Richards, who used to work for the chamber and is now over at Tri-County Council. It is Jessica's job to literally download all of the bills that are presented, and she reviews them one by one to see if anything has to deal with business matters or anything that would affect our local businesses. From there, there are literally about 13 to 14 subcommittees within the legislative committee that deal with, healthcare, taxes, things of that nature. From those subcommittees, those are, our local experts who review the bills, who give their opinion as to, why we should oppose, support, or what we call an FYI to businesses that would be affected. Before all of that even goes to publish to the website, we did make sure to introduce, the proper step, from a governance and parliamentarian standpoint, is our board of directors, our elected board of directors reviews those positions to make sure that that they're in agreement. And if they are, then it goes to the website, which then gets published. So that's, kind of the process of, where it's been for the past couple of years. I've been president and CEO since October 2023. So again, these are things that used to happen. I'm bringing it back to the forefront to allow our business owners, especially our chamber members, to have an opportunity to have that open dialogue. How it will be controlled is they are submitting questions for the legislative breakfast. Let me bring it back to that point. For the legislative breakfast, when they register, questions are going to be submitted to be reviewed by the moderators, which are Chudy and Jessica, who are, currently, the leads of the legislative committee. From that review of the questions, that's where that will start. They are broken down into, our state legislation as well as our local legislation, with the understanding that you, from the state level, you might have to head to Annapolis. We've slated your time from 9 to 10 or whenever it's time for you to leave. Delegate Patterson, at what point do you think it's comfortable that we say you might have to leave earlier or later, and we can adjust the networking breakfast, which starts at 8?
We usually know a week before.
Okay.
It's on a Monday, so we would know that Friday if we have a session that's early or hearing, whatever.
Okay, very good. So, yes, but to answer your question, we would be able to, make adjustments as necessary. And I can provide, my cell number, to, whomever who's the point of contact, to make sure that that's happening.
Okay.
And that is in regards to our legislative breakfast as well as, our legislative committee. And before I go into all the other great things for the chamber, I want to make sure I give an opportunity, for any questions.
Well, questions and suggestions.
Yes.
So, I appreciate the fact that you guys are involved and are being advocates. There's probably a better way. First of all, we could meet earlier,
Okay,
like November, before we go into session.
sure.
And we can be proactive about some of the issues that you're concerned about.
I love it.
And as opposed to, writing opposed to these bills. And a second thing is, generally, what are you opposed to in these bills? Because, it's usually not the entire bill. There's something in the bill that you're
Mhm.
opposed to. So that would be helpful.
Okay.
But
And
I,
then
and-
a
and
further, I guess, a further explanation as to what language of the bill is, that we're opposing.
well, yeah, it makes sense. If the bill is in my committee, I could bring up that, my Charles County has a concern about this,
Okay.
about this part of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot easier to kill part of a bill than to kill a whole bill.
Understood. And apologies, as I'm looking down, I'm writing down notes.
Okay, no, that's funny. That's
Uh.
fine. I get it. In preparation for this meeting, I printed out from your webpage, yeah, a list of things that you're interested in. Probably better to just to be proactive about what you want. Because and also on the day of the breakfast, we work in silos. Probably Delegate Chairman Wilson is the guy, right? Aren't most of these bills in his
Yeah.
committee? So you're gonna get duds from me and Delegate Patterson. Probably maybe not so much Delegate Harris because he's in the money committee, but
Okay.
if it's not environment and transportation, I'll pick out the ones that are related to my committee.
Okay.
But we do work in silos.
Okay.
Unless we have a general principle that we want to deal with. Oh, and I'm sorry, and Senator Jackson on the Money Committee in the Senate. But so that's how we work here.
Okay.
I have no idea what's happening in economic matters
Understood.
until I hear it on the floor.
Okay.
By then it's probably too late.
Understood.
Wouldn't you guys agree? Could you add? Yes, Senator
Well,
Jackson.
I agree with that. I think in terms of it being more productive versus I gotcha kind of thing. And I'm just going to be honest. That's how it appeared so many times. And we work for the county.
Yes.
But some of these are state bills, and certainly I'm able to address issues as it relates to ways and means, economics, elections, etc. And I'll do my very best. And sometimes it's good for us to have a chance to do an overview in terms of some legislation we're proposing and why we're doing it.
Yeah, that would be helpful, I
And
think.
giving you the opportunity to explain, further as opposed to just reading it. Okay, from that standpoint, again, if we're working, I guess, smarter rather than harder, is this something that we can move forward towards the 2026 session because we're kind of in the middle, or is this something that we might be able to somewhat course correct for this session, knowing that we probably won't be able to, incorporate the, that full vision of I guess, more open dialogue, giving you the opportunity to explain.
I've got to add.
I
I've got to
do
let Senator
acknowledge
Jackson.
Senator Jackson's hand as well.
Yeah, I've got to let Senator Jackson in. Go ahead.
I appreciate that. Look, I just think, Delegate Patterson and I came in at the same time, and I think, these settings work best prior to the legislative session, so we know what's you will have at that time seen the pre-filed pieces of legislation, and that way the entire delegation can actually take a look and be on the lookout for that. in the middle of the session, again, our chair spoke to it. We are all doing our thing, and particularly in a year like every year, because
Yeah.
our only mandate is to balance a budget. And with this year, it is particularly challenging. And if you're talking about the month of March, the last full month of a 90-day session,
Right.
it's going to be pretty tough, and we won't have a lot of the answers that, your members have a right to ask those questions. But we want to make sure that it's fair to you and your members as well as to us. And as Doug Patterson says, she said so eloquently, we have been in some got you moments where we've darted down 8 o'clock in the morning to go to a session, with a group of folks who are looking to, go for the jugular. And that's not what we're here for. We're here to be of service to you. And we can better do that prior to the session because, quite frankly, the work is done during the 9 months outside of the session, not the 90 days.
Yes, sir.
And so if we have a perspective on what type of legislation or what needs you have, then we can, we not every bill is filed early. The delegation may look to do something after we had that conversation with you in mid-November.
Okay.
I can say from my standpoint, I don't only speak for me, December, after mid-December, I am off the grid.
I think we all are, Senator Jackson,
You know what I mean?
with respect
And-
to Christmas. So
And
that's
so
a great
I think
conversation to have.
I think, look, if you look at the 6 members of this delegation,
Yes, sir.
we are strategically placed, which is beneficial to our districts, 27 and 28. And so, we have a sphere of influence that we can engage knowing what our constituents want versus trying to figure out what's going to happen when we show up in a meeting. When somebody's going to ask us some questions and we're trying to figure out how do we get from Charles County to Annapolis to make sure, and I'll say this lastly, myself and Delegate Harris, we're on budget committees. Budget committees meet every day. And so Mondays are tough for us. So things can change at any time. I know my schedule on Monday is, I don't have Mondays is typically when the legislators come back in town for the week. For those who stay for a week up here in Annapolis, we don't have that benefit. And I certainly don't want to seem as if I'm not interested in who and what you all are. But it's a bit challenging. We would like to be able to focus on our partnership, and so I'll leave it at that. So.
Thank you so much, Senator Jackson. And we did receive the message from Senator Harris that might be a challenge for Monday as well. All that I've heard here today, honorable delegates and senators, this is something that I am positive that my legislative committee will be happy about, as well as the rest of our members, to know that people are a little bit more engaged, now, and more vocal, now that we have that opportunity, for technology. Even, with our new structure, as far as, the legislative committee is concerned, we have that desire to make sure that, we engage, at an earlier time. Senator Jackson, to your point, that is nothing that we would want either, to make it look like that, we're going for the jugular. If the point is to make sure for the chamber, just speaking strictly for the chamber, to be the voice of the chamber of businesses, not just chamber businesses, all businesses in Charles County, the dialogue needs to be, more effective. Our voice needs to be heard. And to your point, if you have the, the ammunition earlier, we're able to kind of, not if not smooth it over, at least be heard a little bit more clearer.
No, we got you, and absolutely, and we're your partner. So we believe in mutually beneficial partnerships, and that's the way we want to keep it. So we're all on the same page, and figuring out things together. So going forward, and I do look forward to that in the fall.
There, absolutely, it is good. That is recorded. Absolutely, like I said, you do have my promise. Like I said, I already know from our legislative committee as well as our board, this is something that they will be excited to hear about, because at the leadership level in the chamber, they are truly passionate, as I am, about making sure that we empower our small business owners, as well as all businesses in Charles County. But again, the voices who need to be elevated are those, you know, the entrepreneurs and solopreneurs.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Agree.
thank you so much. And in Kathy's defense, I want to say that those gotcha moments did not happen under her administration. Um,
But Delegate Davis, to your point, we want to make sure that we don't repeat those same patterns, because it could be, you know, something that's set up that I wouldn't have known about. But having these open and honest conversations, you know, at this level, where, you know, cooler heads always, you know, prevail. But again, having that intelligence to know that collaboration, no matter what, is the way to go.
Okay, I have a question about your legislative process. Did you send letters out on each of these bills?
The
Is there
letters
support
are
or
only,
opposition?
for this year, I don't have any letters that that have been sent, that have been brought to my attention as of yet. When we have done that last year, it was sent, you know, to the email addressed to the person who presented, you know, the bill, as well as the committee, and then again, making sure to copy all of our Charles County delegation.
So, and I would like this too, to add this to your process.
Yes, ma'am.
Recently, I was in a hearing and Charles County Commissioners sent a opposing letter for a bill that Delegate Patterson and I co-sponsored. So at least a phone call, at least a reach out if we're a co-sponsor.
You mean the chamber?
No, from the Charles County Commissioners sent a letter
Okay,
in
gotcha.
opposition to a
So
bill.
you're
that
saying from our standpoint, if there's a bill that we're opposing that you got, yes, ma'am.
Just let us know. I mean, we don't like to be caught like that.
Understood.
Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing. Anything else?
My goodness, Charles County, I want to respect your time. CharlesCountyChamber.org is the website. It is filled with all the amazing events that are coming up. I will be sending a personal invitation for our annual inaugural ceremony. That is March 28th, where we celebrate the incoming board, the passing of the gavel ceremony. And this year's theme is Bet on the Chamber. And it's, you know, it's a casino theme, but it's actually saying what we want people to do. Take a chance on us. We have really made sure, like I said, to stay mission focused on who we are here to serve. We serve our small businesses in Charles County, serve all businesses in Charles County, knowing that, you know, smaller businesses need that, that elevated voice. But all in all, we are here for our community to make sure that it thrives. We understand the challenges that are coming down the pipeline, and we are working closely on a hyper local level, even with PGM, as well as our county commissioners, to make sure what does that look like as far as collaboration is concerned. You know, and even in economic development, our circle of services, that's the term that the Charles County Economic Development has coined for what we're a part of. It shows there are people who have come from out of the county and out of the state to say, we have never seen anything like this in any other county, where there's a true collaboration with economic development, the chamber, the local commissioners, you know, things of that nature. It makes sense. Will we get it right all the time? Absolutely not. But the optics are that, you know, if I send you to one person or send you to another person, it's not to shoo you away. It's because I'm giving you a path of success.
Well, thank you so much, Kathy.
Thank you so much. Thank you again for your time.
I like the title, Bet on Us, which leads me to ask the question, is a riverboat part of the chamber?
They aren't, but they need to be. I think
They are not?
No, I think Senator Ellis, he'll probably, you know, help to make that happen. But I think maybe at one time they were, but at this current time, they're not.
I would encourage them to do so.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm even putting that down now. But again, please be on the lookout for those invitations. I do have a follow-up, one last question before I leave. With Charles County commissioners, there's a portal where we kind of send all the information and invitations. Is there something that exists on the state level, or just continue to send the emails addressed to everybody?
It's only what, 7 of us?
Okay. He said 6.
It's only 6 of us.
Okay.
But if you sent it to the chair, to myself, and asked for it to be distributed, I could do that. But
okay. Very good.
Have
And
a
that's how I will
fun-
proceed. If you don't mind being inundated with my emails, if this is a relationship that we are striving to build with the networking events, there's a lot of things that are going on, for that allowing for that collaboration to happen. So many of the commissioners are coming, and if you have that opportunity too, I'll just make sure to send that along as well.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate. I hope we didn't do it. I got you. Did we?
Not at all. If there's anything, I was kind of like, okay, this is a good thing. When people ask you, to come forward to say, yes, I'm coming. Hey, do you have an opportunity just to kind of explain a little bit further? And when somebody is really interested in your mission, that means that the word has spread that I'm serious about my business here. As my role as president and CEO, this is not an ego thing. This is about my community. I've been here, over 25 years and seen the opportunities to thrive, no matter what obstacles come our way for things that, are not, that we can't control. But what we can control is making sure that we, provide those streams and those opportunities for people to be successful. It's not going to be 100%. We have to be realistic about that. But for those who can walk into that path of success, what is the best way that we can lead them down that road of success?
Well, we appreciate your energy, Kathy. We really do. And we're looking forward to who can make it on March 3rd, but we'll be there.
Very good.
Right.
Thank you so much. You all have a wonderful day and a great weekend.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we adjourn, you guys, it's come to my attention that perhaps we need to include more people in our legislative priority meetings with the county. Definitely the school board, because they had legislation last year that didn't move.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't vetted. And perhaps the chamber might want to be invited. Think about it. And
Oh, that's a good idea.
think about it, and we'll present it to the commissioners.
Now, are there priorities on their website or?
Oh my gosh, there's pages and pages. It's not really priorities. What do they call it?
But I agree to have, those are valuable folks to have to connect throughout the 9 months, we meet, whenever we do it. I think, it's always a good thing because we get bombarded during the 90 days. I just want to remind folks on the call that March 6th, you're going to be receiving an invitation to District 27 night.
Okay.
So it's going to be March 6th. So
Who's the caterer?
receiving that, and please, ma'am.
Who's the caterer?
It can't be the two in the county I want it, but that are not in our district. So Delegate Harris and I are looking forward to partnering with the chamber as well as the EDC, because we don't have many venues in 27A that we could use for that. So we're gonna name the caterer here shortly. But there's one that I really wanted, but he's in 28. So we're trying to do District 27 nice. So
I know.
and I have 3 counties. Did you know that? I have 3. And so that means
Only 3?
that I have 3 distinct, diverse, and so, sometimes contrasting. But at the end of the day, I had 3 delegates that touch those counties. So I got to make sure that I'm, we're working together. So.
Okay. Thank you.
But
so much.
and feel free once you get the invitation to invite anybody you like, because we're 18%, but we're 100% in, Charles, folks.
Where is it going to be? It's the same
In the
place.
Senate down in the first floor of the Senate.
Okay.
And I've got to jump. I've got to get ready for a
Okay.
pre-meeting for a budget hearing. And thank you all for having us today.
I think we're done. Is there anything
Motion for adjournment.
you want to add? Yeah. Thank you.
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you.